I used to think African Americans are lazy. They don't want to work and all that. You will never understand the struggle of African Americans until you live in the system for 5 years.
The veil is being lifted off of the promise of America. And I think that this is very crushing to them. They are grieving hard because they believed a lie that my people just didn't believe.
Everybody wants to come to America. I'm like, are they crazy?
Every ounce of U.S. immigration history is about white supremacy.
Black Americans have been in an abusive relationship with the United States since our most recent journey here in 1619. And you need to listen to us, because what they did to us, they're going to do to you. You know who the most recent girlfriends are? The immigrants.
I mean, immigrants, especially dark-skinned immigrants, refuses to listen to Black Americans before they move to the USA. They think that after arriving in America, they will outsmart the system and then do better than Black Americans. But sooner or later, they find out that Black Americans were right. After facing the system, after facing with the struggles of living in America as a Black person, they tend to understand what Black Americans told them before. So let's watch these interesting videos of these Black Americans. We come back at the end and talk more about this topic.
Black Americans have been in an abusive relationship with the United States since our most recent journey here in 1619. Yes, most recent, because of course there's evidence that we were here prior to colonization. Go read a book and argue with your mama, because that's not the point of this video. So we've been in an abusive relationship with the United States since 1619. And just like any person who's been victimized in a relationship, we've told the future girlfriends of the United States, they're an abuser. And you need to listen to us, because what they did to us, they're going to do to you. You know who the most recent girlfriends are? The immigrants. See, you all thought that you were special. Because see, just like what any abuser does, when they abuse someone and then that person leaves them, the next person they go to, they start talking about the former. Yeah, they're crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. If you hear them say such and such, they are lying. So they try to get ahead of the game. They try to taint your mind to make you believe there's something wrong with the ex. In our simple minds and in our arrogance, even in regular person-to-person relationships, we always think we're better than the ex. See, they're not going to treat me that way because I'm not like you. I'm special because they chose me now, and there's something wrong with you because they got rid of you, or they no longer want you, or they never treated you right, and they're going to treat me differently. And so just like with any abuser, they manipulate the new person into believing that the old person has done something wrong, has done something crazy, are crazy. And then they get with you and they try to convince you, they manipulate you. They get your mind off of what you need to focus on. So when you see the red flags, you don't really pay attention to the red flags. They're there, but you don't really see them because you're making excuses for them. And they told you that we're the ones that were so bad and we're the ones that were so wrong, that when they start showing you who they really are, you really don't believe it's happening to you, because they made you believe that you were better than us. You're better than the ex. By the time you realize that you've been abused and you're in a trap, it's too late. They have separated you from the people that love you. They've mind fucked you and made you believe things that are not true. They have manipulated you, conned you, taken advantage of you. They done took your money, fucked up your credit, messed around with your kids. They have done all horrible things. Horrible things. And then you wake up and be like, hold on, I'm in an abusive relationship too. Wait a minute, I'm a victim too. Hold on, why didn't I believe them when they said it? And it's because they played you. Now, see, we didn't have a choice because we were brought here. We saw them for who they were on the other side. We saw them then. Yes. But what you all did was they got you when you was over there. Before you even set foot on these shores, they showed you all kinds of things in the media to make you believe all these crazy things about us African Americans. You know, we lazy. We are. We're lazy, and we don't take advantage of the opportunities that we have here, and that we squander things. We haven't created anything. We haven't done anything amazing in history. And so they made you believe that you were special. They made you believe that you're different. You're not like them. Don't be over there with them. Don't listen to them. See, even at work, you know how when you get hired, they don't want you to discuss pay or responsibilities and stuff, because see, what's happening is people are getting paid differently, doing the same work, or one has more of a workload than the other, but you're getting paid less. As long as you don't communicate and talk, then you think that you're special. That's what they did to you. They told you that you were special. They said, don't go over there with them. As long as they can keep us separated and keep you believing that we're in the wrong, then you're going to do their bidding. You're going to now take the mantle and discriminate against us and hate us and talk about us and tell us that we're not good people and we are this and we are that. Everything that they told you, you come back and bring it to us. So now they've manipulated you to the point where you actually do their dirty work. And then the election happened and you all showed up And you did exactly what they wanted you to do. And I'm not going to say not all, because if you weren't the one that did it, then I'm not talking to you. So there's that. For those of you who did, you drank the Kool-Aid, you sipped the sauce, and you thought that you were different. And now look at you. Now you're looking at the ex-girlfriend to come and save you. You're screaming at the ex, why aren't you helping me? And the ex warned you. Child, we done sent the telegram, we sent the pigeon, railroad, the mailman, UPS, and FedEx. Child, we sent Morse code, everything. We told you that they're an abuser. We told you not to believe them. What you did was you believed them because you believed that you were special and you were different. And you believe that what they did to us would never happen to you. And I mean, it's in the history books. Whatever they do to us first, they then spill over and do to the immigrants. And then they spill over and do to poor white people. Like, the history is there. They don't have a new playbook. You just refuse to read. You refuse to believe what you see. And isn't that what happens? The abuser comes, and with their charm, they lure you in. And they tell you how special you are. Oh, you're not like the others. You're so different. You make my life better. What would I do without you? See, with that last one, this is what they did, and la-di-da-di-da. But with you, yeah, I'm glad you're here, because you're nothing like them. That's how they get you. And then you get got. And that's why we've been in an abusive relationship the entire time we've been here, since the journey of 1619. And we told you, and you didn't listen. And look at you now. Look at your ass now.
Y'all are really about to find out what we've been doing over here this whole time. With this Supreme Court, they about to roll back everything we've been fighting for. And y'all are about to see what Black Americans have been doing this entire time. Not only that, you're about to realize how much some of y'all messed up. Like fumbled. I'm talking about fumbled the bag. Because all you had to do was listen to Black Americans. Black Americans been telling y'all about this government since day one. And I'm not like here's my thoughts on America. America is one amazing op. Like, America is one hell of a op. Like, they know they are one hell of a op. And the way they move and the way they go over your head, like, some of y'all really weren't ready. And truthfully, Black Americans been telling you, your handbook, your hand guide is Black American history. It's all documented. You want to know who they are and how they move? It's in the history. And Black American history intersects with everybody else in this country. Like, and to fully get an understanding of what Black Americans actually did, you need to read American history. Look at how they did the European immigrants. Look at how they did the Asian community. Look at how they did women. Look at how they did the Native Americans. Like, look at how they did the Hispanic Americans. And go look at how Black American history intersects with all of those groups. And all of those groups we talked about exercise anti-Blackness. Even though Black American history and the Black American community have been in solidarity and fought for a lot of those groups. A lot of them. We done sat there and watched them Asians take down affirmative action, even though they benefited more from it than the people that fought for it. And then after tearing it down, they never went back to go fight for it again. You want to know why? Because it's easier said than done. Y'all be tearing down stuff, working against stuff that y'all did not have to fight for. And it's easier said than done. If this Supreme Court starts rolling stuff back that we fought for, I can guarantee you your bottom dollar, Black Americans are not fighting for it again. Not for you. It'll probably be for Black people or Black Americans only. I promise you that. Because Black American gave you a lot on a full platter. And y'all gave the Black American community your butt to kiss. The difference is Black Americans know this country better than anybody. And tried to tell people, tried to warn people, tried to tell them. Nobody wanted to listen. It's always, oh, what have y'all been doing? Y'all are lazy, da-da-da. You're going to find out when they start rolling everything back what we've been doing over here this whole time. You're going to find out. For my Black immigrants, y'all really should have known better. Because I don't understand how y'all trusted people in this country, the same people that's over there in y'all countries running a train on y'all countries with their allies. And y'all come over here and listen to those people. That's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. Because out of all the immigrants, y'all have firsthand experience with this government in y'all countries. And y'all come over here and be just as anti-black and anti-black American than these non-black people. Meanwhile, the people that you following behind are the same people tearing up your countries right now. And when black Americans try to help you and tell you, hey, don't, you let the same people convince you that we bad, the same people that's over there taking y'all resources, and the same people that's the reason why you got to leave right now. Y'all about to find out how much black Americans actually did, because black Americans made it look easier said. It's easier said than done. Black Americans just make it look easy. Y'all about to find out. Because when this is all gone, y'all not fighting. The Asians ain't fought for that affirmative action yet. It's just not going to be. Because again, black Americans make it look easy. I'm telling you, y'all going to go down as the biggest bag fumblers of all time.
Black Americans are more progressive. We progressed past the American dream lie. We're past that. I mean, we got some people who are stuck in their respectability politics era. But a lot of those people are first generations. They're not even black Americans. Because I'm telling you right now, black Americans are past respectability politics. We're past that because we already tried it. It's not that we knew already. We're not so enlightened by the fact that we're black Americans. We tried everything. And that is the reason why every time an immigrant comes here, we try to let y'all know what the deal is with this country. And that's also why when you come into this country, they warn you about us. You think they warn you about us because we are dangerous and no, they warn you about us because we're going to tell you the truth. You might wake up a little faster if you hang out with black Americans. That's why they don't want you hanging out with us. They don't want you near the truth tellers, obviously. So I really do feel sorry for the immigrants that the veil is being lifted from their eyes and they are crashing out. I be seeing so many videos of immigrants just so upset about the things that are happening in this country and mourning the loss of the American dream in a way that black people mourn that shit.
Everybody wants to come to America. I'm like, are they crazy? The food gives you acne. The police give you stress. The taxes. The people are like, oh, I'm coming to America to make $100,000 US. And you get that check. And you're like, where's the 100? It's going to be 39 for Trump and his boys. And then you got to pay 11% for the state. Then you got to pay Social Security. And then you say, I'm about to sue somebody. Where's my money? I've bought things expecting this money. And a lot of people don't realize America runs on a credit system.
Yeah.
It's all credit. So you can buy it, but you have to pay it back. Yeah. Around the world, most houses, you have to go in with cash in your hand. And so outside of America, they think they're so poor because they can't buy a big house like Americans. They don't own their house. The bank owns their house. They paying it for 30 years. Yeah. People don't understand that. So they dream about coming to America. I'm like, and then they come and they can't understand why their cousin who's going abroad is so depressed.
The U.S. Immigration Department was actually created during chattel slavery so that only white people could be citizens of the United States. Every ounce of U.S. immigration history is about white supremacy and maintaining white supremacy and maintaining chattel slavery, even through our United States prison system. The Naturalization Act was created in 1790, the same year the U.S. Census was created, the same year the Patent and Trademark Office was created. Immigration is white supremacy. That is what that department does. It has no other function. There is no such thing as becoming a U.S. citizen the right way. The only right way is to be white, like a Ukrainian, like Donald Trump's grandfather, who was an illegal immigrant, but could still naturalize in the late 1800s because of whiteness, because he was from Germany. You see how that works? Second largest ethnic group of white people in the United States are Germans, which voted for Donald Trump because he was German and told black and brown people not to vote for Kamala because she was a black person. Y'all see how that works? It's a whole lot of word games, but you guys really need to read history a lot more because Everything about the history of immigration in the United States has been about racism and white supremacy. United States race was created from the Naturalization Act. Only white people could be a citizen, white landowning men. Naturalization Act of 1790. Look this shit up. Dred Scott was based on the legal precedent set by the Naturalization Act of 1790. After the 14th Amendment was passed to overturn Dred Scott, African Americans did not become citizens until the Naturalization Act of 1870. Look that shit up. Naturalization Act of 1870. Follow me? It took until the 1920s for Native Americans to become citizens of the United States in their own fucking country, right? Asians did not become citizens of the United States until the 50s. And some Asians did not get their citizenship. It was being challenged until the 64 Civil Rights Act. The first year in the United States that people could self-select their race was 1970. Look that shit up. Immigration is racism. Stop saying that they're two separate things. Everything about why brown people are being kicked out of this country has everything to do with the reason black people were enslaved, and black people fought alongside native people in Mexico, which used to include Texas and California and the entire Southwest, and Florida, which was owned by the Spanish. Black and brown people revolted against the Spanish together, which led to the abolition of slavery. Mexico was the Southern Underground Railroad. Mexico abolished slavery in 1829. Galveston was part of Mexico. Read. Stop saying fuck shit on the internet. Black and brown unity.
A lot of black Americans have been warning immigrants about how the American system really works. They have been trying to tell them that this system was never built to favor everybody equally. It tends to reward people it was designed to reward. And usually, those at the top of the system have always been people closer to whiteness. So when black Americans speak about struggle, discrimination, racism, lack of opportunities, and barriers to success, they are not making excuses. They are speaking from lived experiences. Because let's be honest, who does not want to succeed? Everybody wants a better life. Everybody wants money, peace, stability, and opportunities. So when some of these immigrants go to America and start asking, why are black Americans not as successful as white Americans? Why are some of them struggling? Why are some trapped into poverty? Why are some of these black Americans overrepresented in prisons? They ask those questions without first understanding the structure of the system itself. They look at the outcome, but they don't study the design. And that is where misunderstandings begin. Some immigrants arrive in America already looking down on black Americans. They go there with this mindset that if black Americans have been in America for generations and still have not made it, then maybe the problem is laziness, bad choices, or lack of discipline. But that way of thinking ignores history. It ignores redlining. It ignores segregation. It ignores discrimination in lending. It ignores the school-to-prison pipeline. It ignores the fact that for many years, major institutions in America, including elite universities, were not open to black Americans in the same way they were open to white Americans. So the problem was never just individual behavior. So the problem was never just individual behaviors of black Americans. The problem was also the system. Then what happens? These same immigrants enter the American system thinking that they are somehow different. They think they are smarter. They think they will escape what black Americans were warning them about. But after some time, reality starts teaching them. They begin to experience unfair treatment at work. They start dealing with over-policing. They begin to notice racism in housing, in education, in everyday life. They begin to realize that no matter how much distance they try to create between themselves and black Americans, the system still sees their skin color before it sees anything else. That is when many of them start saying, now I understand what black Americans were talking about. Now they begin to understand why some of these black Americans feel exhausted. Now they begin to understand why some want to leave America and go somewhere else. Now they begin to understand why building wealth has been harder for black families. Now they begin to understand why getting business loans, quality education, and fair treatment has never been as simple as people like to pretend. Because once you are dark-skinned in America, the system often throws you into the same box. Whether you are African, Jamaican, Haitian, Black American, or from anywhere else in the diaspora, that system can still reduce you to the same racial category when it wants to discriminate. That is why I really like the story that woman told, comparing America to someone warning you about a toxic partner. It is like somebody who has already dated that person comes to you and says, be careful, this person will hurt you. This person is manipulative. This person will drain you. But instead of listening, you say, no, maybe your experience was different. Let me try for myself. Then later, after getting into that relationship, after getting hurt, after being broken, you come back and realize that the warning was true all along. That is exactly what happens to many immigrants in America. And this is not to say that success in America is impossible. No, it is possible. People still build their lives there. People still create opportunities there. But what matters is understanding the reality before stepping into it. Do your research, learn the history, learn how race works in America, learn how the system has treated black Americans, because their story is not random. Their story is often the clearest warning sign for anybody else entering that same system with dark skin. And I will say this too. One thing I respect about black Americans is that many of them are very open about their reality. They are assertive, they speak directly, they do not hide the pain, the struggle, or the truth. The problem is that too many black immigrants do not want to hear the truth when it comes from black Americans. They would rather trust the system before trusting black experience. And that is a costly mistake, because by the time some of these immigrants realize the truth, they have already been humbled by the same system they thought they can outsmart. And that is the reality. So that is the end of the video, guys. I want you to tell me down in the comment section what do you think about this video. Mr. TA is signing off.